Good morning and welcome from Ranworth to day 7 of the Great Norfolk Broads Adventure 10. Once again, it's that last full day of yet another adventure. And where the hell has the week gone, by the way? You know, I literally woke up this morning and realised that this is Friday. You know, I have a destination. It doesn't matter where I go today or what I do. Today is the day I have to be somewhere near the boatyard, because tomorrow morning, bright and early, well, early, I won't be so bright, I have to return Royal Commander and end another adventure. Can't believe it. I was actually physically shocked and stunned, ladies and gentlemen. I really was. I could not believe it. You know, it was like I only took the boat over a couple of days ago, and the whole week has just sort of flown and disappeared and just shot on by. You know, it was just like, how can it be Friday already? You know. But yeah, Friday it is, and I am actually quite incredulous about that. You know, I really honestly am. And what a week, you know. It has been absolutely bloody fantastic, you know. I mean, I've just been meeting so many people, you know. I've been out and about, you know, every day, you know, every night, you know. I've been drinking far more than I would usually drink, you know, and it's just been like, wow, you know, it's just been like, what the hell, you know. Maybe that's where the week has gone. Maybe it's just been in a complete haze of drunken intoxication, which doesn't surprise me one bit. Let me put this down. But yeah, it has been absolutely fantastic, you know. Okay, the weather's maybe not been the best. We've had some pretty poor days. As a general rule, it's been not so good in the morning, but in the afternoon it's been one. But it's still been quite mild, you know. It's not exactly been cold, even when it has been wet, you know. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, you know, the weather's been okay, you know. It's been actually a good sort of compromise of nice weather, horrible weather, but as long as it's remained mild, you know, that's the main thing. I mean, yesterday it started, I mean, you probably saw yesterday, it started off so miserable yesterday and wet and a bit grey and dull, you know, but by the time I got in here and spent a couple of hours, you know, chatting and catching up with people, you know, I ended up sitting in there with the roof down in the sun, listening to some easy listening music, and it was fantastic. It really was, you know. I went for a wee wander, obviously, up to the Maltzers. Had a few beers. I was going to wait for the pizza, because that pizza, I was waiting for the pizza. That's what it came down for. I just wanted the pizza, you know, but in the end I didn't have a pizza, you know. I ended up having, well, it was those dumplings and a burger. And I thought, well, why not, you know, because rather than wait for another 4 hours for the pizza den to open, because it was obviously off season, I just decided to have an early dinner and had that, came back, you know, had another beer, you know, and basically I just chilled, you know, chilled, relaxed, and then an early night last night, so yeah. So it was actually really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. Just a peaceful, relaxing evening, you know, just chilling, you know, giving the liver a wee rest, you know, not eating too much, even though I still ate too much, and just basically completely and utterly unwinding, you know, and it was really good. But I've no idea what I'm doing today. I do know I need to end up in Horning later. I'm meeting up with, I don't know if you remember, but when I was on Royal Stewart, I was joined for a few days by Anne and Alan. on the Moonbeam. Well, it transpires that they are actually taking over a boat in Richardson today in Stalham. So yeah, they're actually back on the Broads today again. So they're going to come on down. I'm going to try and get in at Horning because I obviously need to be somewhere near the boatyard. Yeah, I'm going to try and get in at Horning. They're going to come down from Stalham, hopefully meet up in Horning, and we'll spend an evening just sort of catching up and basically having a wee sort of maybe a wee bite to eat and everything like that. So that'll be good to see them again, you know. Looking forward to that. It won't be a heavy night's drinking session because obviously I have to take the boat back tomorrow, which means that I'm up early and I'm driving as well, so not doing a lot of drinking tonight, so no rum for me tonight, Alan, okay? Just putting that out there. Just a couple of pints. That's it, just a couple of pints. So yeah, so I've no idea what I'm going to do because I'm obviously at Ranworth. Horning is literally only round the corner. I mean, it's just like half an hour, 45 minutes or something like that away. So when I do leave, it's not going to take me very long to get to Horning, which means that the batteries are not going to get really much of a charge. So if I go to Horning straight from Ranworth, I'm essentially, you know, I leave at 9 o'clock, I'll be there at 10 o'clock and that's it, you know. I'm not sure if I'm wanting to do that, you know, but yeah, so I might go for a wee wander, you know, maybe just plutter around the rivers basically, give the batteries a wee chance to charge up, get myself organised, figure out what I'm going to do for the day, and yeah, just sort of take it from there. Yeah, so I've, like I say, no idea what I'm doing today, no idea. Hopefully I will get in at Horning. If I try to be there early, I should hopefully get in, you know. There's various places, it's a very, very busy place and you have to be there early in order to get a place. Unfortunately, I think the only likelihood of where I'm going to end up is going to be at the place that I like the least in Horning, you know, which is the Ferry Inn. So yeah, I mean, like I say, there's nothing wrong with the Ferry Inn, you know, it's just that it's very much your sort of basic, what would I say, Witherspoon's grub, you know, sort of, it's, I mean, like I say, there's nothing wrong with the Ferry Inn at Horning, but there's better places. You know, I tried to actually book the new inn a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately that's all booked up, so we're not getting into the new inn. And there is some free moorings at the Swan at the other end of the Horning, which would be good. I would like that. I would take that very nicely. But the possibility is they're not very large moorings. There's only about space for about 4, maybe 6 boats, depending on the sizes of them. So yeah, basically, if you it's very unlikely that you're going to get into the free moorings at the Swan, which is a great shame because it's been a wee while since I've been at the Swan and I wouldn't have minded it. I don't moor outside the Swan anymore because of those mooring charges. If they've changed them, there's a good possibility. But I'll go out and I'll check all that out and everything like that, you know. But yeah, so that's basically the plan today, is that I need to plutter around the rivers, charge up the batteries, end up at Horning. I need to end up at Horning sometime around lunchtime. I need to get myself organised and showered and all that. I don't even know if there's, I think there might actually be showers over here by the public toilets. I'm not entirely sure about that. I'll maybe actually check that out later. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with the boat showers. No, but, it's just if I've got an opportunity to actually, you know, you get more space and everything like that. So I don't know. I'll figure all that out later. Like I say, at the moment I'm just having my coffee, getting myself organised. Lovely morning this morning, I must admit. I sat there and watched the sun come up through the trees. You know, it's not that cold, not that breezy. It's a bit of a light breeze. So yeah, a wee bit of clouds about. Going to be a cloudy day, but yeah, oh well, never mind. Not going to worry too much about that, you know. So yeah, that's basically it. The start of the final day, you know, the final full day. Yeah, not going to be. It's going to be another short cruising day. It's just the way this sort of adventure's going, hasn't it? You know, it's just been. I really only had the one long cruise day, which is when I went from. Oh goodness, I went from the Thurn all the way down to Surlingham, didn't I? That was a good long cruise day actually. Oh no, I didn't go to Surlingham. I went from Thurn down to the Reedham Chain Ferry, you know. So that was a good cruise, but after that it's only been like 3-4 hour cruises, just pluttering here, there and everywhere, you know. I mean, I've not even been up the River Ant on this trip, you know. I mean, I suppose I could go up to London Bridge and turn around and come back, you know, but I mean, I don't know. I'll figure it all out later, you know. At the moment, coffee, get myself organised, figure out my day and just sort of take it off from there, you know. You know what I'm like, you know, fire up the engine, let the ropes go, pick a direction and just go, you know, and see where it takes me, you know. But at least I know where I'm finishing today. Anyway, I'm babbling as per usual, so I shall stop there. As always, I'll keep you updated on the events of the day. It's not going to be a long cruise day, but hopefully it'll be a good day nonetheless. So yeah, as always, I'll keep you updated. So until I've got more to say, yeah, well, bye for now, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers! just a little update for you. Out here I get caught like, oh, you're not going to hear bugger all, are you? That's just typical. Brilliant. Man, I need to do something about this wind and wind on my microphone. Hello, yes, in short, just a wee update. I have just this minute left Ranworth and I am having an incredibly late start to the day, indeed. It's just like, oh dear, you know. I was planning on going to Horning today, but it looks like I'm going to struggle to get in at Horning, I think. Now, I've left way too late, but it has been good. It has been good because I ended up talking with Ben on Brett's Concerto again. Had a good wee natter with him this morning, and then I went and I did my walkthrough, and then I went and bumped into, oh excuse me, I bumped into, oh that's a bit breezy, crosswinds, sorry, yeah, and then I bumped into Willie and Margaret from Swan Reflection, you know, I bumped into them down at Reedham the other day there. They came into Ranworth for some water, they managed to get up and ended up having a right good bloody natter with them again. So yeah, the time is currently is about 11:30, so oops. I was getting ready to leave about, you know, I don't know, 9 o'clock or something like that, you know. So yeah, I am a wee bit on the late side leaving. I had planned on going around to do some cruising today. I don't think that's going to really happen tomorrow. I think I'm just going to, I've been running the engine a wee bit this morning just to charge up the batteries. So yeah, I think I'll maybe just go straight to Horning, which means it's going to be very, very quick. I mean, literally, I'm going to be there very, very fast. Not going to be much cruising at all today, but we'll check out what the mooring situation is once we get out there, just see if we can get moored up, because I need to be in Horning because I'm meeting people in Horning later today. Like I said, Anne and Alan from Moonbeam away back in June, they're taking over, I forget the name of the boat they're taking over, but they're taking over in Stalham. So they're going to take over in Stalham and come down and meet me in Horning, and we're going to have a pleasant wee evening catching up again. So yeah, I need to be in Horning, that's the plan, so I need to get there and try and get a mooring somewhere in Horning. I don't really care where it is, you know, I just, as long as I get somewhere moored up. So yeah, yeah. So that's the update so far. It's going to be a very short day. It's not a lot of great deals happening. I've obviously done the walkthrough this morning while I was getting myself organised and ready, but now that I'm doing it backwards, I know, but now that I've done the walkthrough, I now need to tidy up the boat. Should I tidy up the boat first, Russell? And I need to get some packing done and sorted and organised, so that tomorrow it's just a matter of, you know, back to the boatyard, unload and straight away. So yeah, I need to do all that sort of stuff and get myself organised. So yeah, that's the update so far. I know I'm going to get a wee bit of a crosswind, so I'm going to go just now. I'll keep you updated on the short cruise, which is going to be very short, very, very short. But yeah, I'll keep you updated, so until later, I'll speak to you soon. Until then, bye for now. Cheers! Okay, just a little wee update for you, and I apologise once again about the wind on the microphone. It's well, I will try and rectify this situation for next year, as like I said the other day there, is that I've been toying with ideas for so long, and I was putting them off and putting them off and putting them off, but I'm kind of getting to the point where certain things are annoying me slightly when I'm putting these things together, and it's just like, well, you know, Russell, stop being an idiot, bite the bullet, pay the money, you know, as a Scotsman I don't like spending money, you know, needlessly, you know. I've got a perfectly good camera, why do I want to change it, you know? Russell, you need to change the camera, you need to get a new microphone, a proper microphone, you know. So yeah, I've got plans and ideas, and that will be rectified hopefully maybe for next year, you know. But yes, I just popping back. I'm currently on the River Bure, and I'm heading up towards Horning. Like I say, it's not going to take me very long to get there at all. I'm sitting here listening to some music, you know. I bought a couple of CDs in the wee shop there, you know, and one of them was the Cause album. Now I've heard a few Cause songs, but I've never sort of bought an album. I don't know if it's a good album or not, but one of them I thought I will try it, I will sample it, you know, for £2, why not? And so far I'm quite enjoying it actually. It's quite nice actually, you know. So like I say, I don't know if it's an early Cause album or an older Cause album, but I'm enjoying it anyway, you know. And the whole point is that I was sitting thinking about the remarkable sort of change of fortune, about how good this adventure has been, if you like, you know. I'm not entirely sure if I've mentioned this before, but I'm still quite sort of astounded, you know, by how many people have been coming up to me and saying, "Oh, Russell, how you doing? I love your blogs, mate," you know. And you know, so some have been shaking their hands, and some have been buying me pints, and I've been buying them pints, you know. I feel like I need to buy people pints sometimes, or a cup of coffee, you know, just because they have to put up and suffer my ramblings. It's just like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to put up with so much rambling, you know. Have a pint as compensation. But yeah, you know, and it's just been, you know, I've just met so many people, you know. I've had far later nights than I would usually have, you know, early mornings, and you know, I mean, there have been 1 or 2 days where I've just been, you know, like completely wiped, because I'm just not used to it. I'm really not used to it, you know. I mean, I like to think I'm a wee bit sociable and a wee bit approachable, you know, but there's being sociable and saying hi for 10 minutes, and there's another thing going out to the pub for like 6 hours, you know, having a great evening and getting, you know, getting properly tanked up, and it's just like, oh dear, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, it has been great, you know, and it really is one of the true wonders, you know, how, as a general rule, I find the whole the whole sort of social media, sort of YouTube thing to be nothing but a positive experience, you know. I know I take the mickey out myself sometimes. I know I essentially just call myself an idiot on a boat, vlogging is holiday, and I'm by no means an expert in, well, anything, you know. I do have a little experience, and I do have an idea of what works for me, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not qualified or a master, you know, and yet people seem to still sort of find a way, find that what I do sometimes works for them, you know. Sometimes it doesn't, fair enough, you know, but you kind of have to find what works for you, you know. But it's nice to hear that I actually help people a wee bit, you know. with these, you know. I mean, I don't often do tips and everything like that, you know. These videos are not like guides or manuals or to Broads boating in any way, you know. I'm just basically going on holiday and you're just coming along with me, you know. That's basically all it is. But every so often I give you wee helpful hints and tips, and that works for me. But and I'm completely going off on a tangent again. I'm just basically quite humbled, actually. If I'm honest, I am actually quite humbled, you know, because it is quite a humbling experience, you know, to go out and you know, sort of meet people, you know, and have people sort of message me, you know, saying, oh, where are you going, Russell, you know, are you down at sort of, say, Thorndyke, you know, say, oh, well, you know, I'll maybe come down and see you at Thorndyke and say hi, you know, and you know, moor up, and then people come over and say hi, and we get talking, and we, you know, I mean, like I say, it's just, it's quite incredible, you know, that, I mean, I personally find it incredible anybody watches these things at all, actually, you know, I mean, so, there must be so much sort of chaotic mess in some of the content, you know, just like, what are you talking about, Russell, you know, please stop it, just stop, just show me the river. You know, just put some music on and show me the river, you know? Yeah, I mean, it really is good, you know, and I'm loving it. I am loving it, you know? I know I said I was meeting another couple, obviously Anne and Alan at Horning. I don't know if anybody else is going to turn up. I do know a couple of people have asked, what are your plans, where are you going, what are you doing, you know? And so, I mean, it's kind of like that's what happened at Thorndyke the other night there. Oh my God, what a night that turned into, you know? Well, actually, what a day. I mean, that was, I'm so glad I stopped over for lunch that day now. Because, the following morning I would have been suffering bad if I hadn't had lunch. That was incredible. I mean, obviously I went to Thorndyke, moored up, you know. Went to say thanks to the couple that helped me moor up. That was David and Dawn, didn't realise at the time. Got chatting to them, you know, went out to the pub for a pint and booked a table, you know. Met Ben from Brink's Concerto. Had a couple of pints with him, you know. Back to the boat, didn't even get, well, I was just literally walked onto the boat, and then Malcolm from Moonlight Shadow, the person I had originally planned to meet, he was there, and he said, oh, come on over. So I went over to Moonlight Shadow. Thankfully we didn't open any beers or anything like that. It was literally just a cup of coffee, which was good, you know, for me. Sat and chatted with him for a wee bit. Had to cut that short because obviously table reservation, you know, so I went down to the table reservation. Met up with Dawn and David again, and I'll be like, oh, you know, we'll literally say, oh, let's put the tables together. So we put the tables together, you know, and it was just, I mean, it was crazy, it was absolutely crazy, you know, and then we had a great meal, you know, and then Malcolm turned up, you know, we had chatted away with him for a wee bit. Didn't realise that Shane was there, which was a bit of a shame, because I would have liked to have bought him a pint, you know. And there's Silver Cloud, just totally, yep, I always look at that boat, I really do, I always look at Silver Cloud. I don't think Dave Whitworth is on it, is it? No, Dave Whitworth isn't on it. That's Dave Whitworth's boat, by the way. It's a syndicate boat, so he's only on it for a few years. A few weeks a year, you know. But oh, it's a cracking boat. But yes, anyway, I digress. So yeah, it was a bit of a shame that Shane didn't come over and say hi. You know, I would have liked to have bought him a pint, you know, and had a good wee chat. Yeah, I met him the following morning. Yeah, I mean, after dinner, you know, went through to the bar, had a few more pints, you know, and it was just talking away, you know, and by the end of the evening, you know, I was just like, oh my God, what is going on? I was like, woo, lovely. you know. So yeah, I was just like, that really was a rather insane evening, you know. I mean, I moored up at Thorndyke, and literally between what, 1 o'clock and 11, 12 or something like that, you know, I never set foot back on this boat apart from the 30 seconds I got back on before Michael called me off again, you know. I was like, it was a brilliant night. It really was, and I bloody loved it. I bloody loved every single moment of it, you know. And the whole adventure is like that, you know. I went down to Thorndyke on a Saturday, you know. I met up with oh Christ, now I'm going to test my memory, and it's not going to be good, so forgive me everybody, you know. But there was just so many people. I mean, there was all the people that I met at the boatyard, you know. I mean, there was like 3 couples I met at the boatyard before even leaving it, down to Thorndyke, you know. Met up with all the people down at Thorndyke, had a brilliant evening, down to Freedom Chain Ferry, you know. Met up with Fiona, Willie and Margaret, you know, and Neil, you know. And it was just like, you know, and then I was up to Stirling. I would have met Jeff, you know, and I'm really disappointed I missed Jeff. I felt very guilty about that, you know. But once again, you know, I just crashed, absolutely crashed, you know. And then, you know, it's just like every single day, you know, everywhere I've gone, I've been meeting people, you know, people coming up and saying hi, you know, and it's been fantastic. I have loved it. I really, really have loved it. I've been, you know, I've loved meeting all these people and having conversations and hearing all the stories about all people's various adventures, and it's been fantastic. Really, really has, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of sitting here thinking about the strange quirk in fate and destiny that a few years ago made me pick up a camera and start vlogging, and then people actually seem to have really sort of taken to them, and it's brilliant. It's been brilliant. It has been brilliant. I mean, I call these the Great Norfolk Broads adventures, but in some respect, you know, the biggest adventures is the YouTube videos. The greatest adventure is the adventures of the Norfolk Broads videos on YouTube, and meeting everybody. It's not the rivers and the footage and all that. It's actually meeting everybody, and it's been brilliant. It's been fantastic, and I've loved it, you know. And here's, I mean, this is adventure number 10. Here's looking for the next 10 adventures, you know. Anyway, I'm going to have to go just now because I'm actually passing Ferry Marina at the moment, and things are getting a wee bit hectic outside the boatyard, and we've got people all over the place. So yeah, I'm going to go and concentrate exactly what's going to make sure we get through it all safely. But I'll keep you updated on the events of the day, so until later, I'll speak to you soon. So at least for now, bye for now. Cheers! Okay, just a little wee update for you. That is me finally moored up in Horning. I did say it wouldn't be a very long cruise today at all. And oh my goodness, what a palaver that was. I came down the River Bure, came into Horning, and I was actually surprised, I have to admit, I was surprised to find that there was virtually no space outside the ferry inn. There was one space down at the far end, and there was another space at the other end, and obviously this wee sort of space in the middle here. But everything else was full, and I was like, okay, go up the river a wee bit. I knew there wouldn't be anything in the new inn because I tried to book that. That was fully booked. And I was going to go up and take a wee look at the free moorings, but I got a wee bit up the river and I thought, you know what, actually, if the ferry inn is busy with boats already, I can guarantee the free moorings are done. So I thought, you know, actually, I'll spin round. So I spin the boat round. Excuse the wind, that's when I hit the breeze. And then, typical, the GoPro fell off. I was like, oh, typical. So I'm going up and down the River Bure, trying to retrieve this GoPro, set it back up, connect it all back up. It wouldn't connect, so basically I don't know. There's no footage me coming in because I was down, I was back, I was down, I was back, and I couldn't get it working at all. So I need to go and have a wee mess around with that later. But yeah, I eventually decided to come in here. I'm on a slight bend though, and it was an awful problem trying to get my rope sorted out, because if I released one rope too early, the bow went down. Open slack. I was too close to the brink serenade in front, and it was a bit of a head scratching going on. So, but eventually, what I sussed out is that I've basically put spring lines on it. So I've used all 4 of my ropes. Keeps the boat nice and tight, nice and tidy against the quay heading, and shouldn't intrude into the river too much. Obviously, I have another boat coming down to meet me later down here, but we have already discussed that, and I've done some investigations, and even if these moorings are full, by the time they get down here, they'll be able to double moor on me, because that is actually permitted and there's not a problem there. So they should probably be here maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock, and like I say, these moorings will be full with boats, but they'll be able to. We've already discussed this in advance, and they know I'm leaving early tomorrow, and that's not a problem for them. So when they come down, they'll go beside me, we'll tie them up to my boat, and that'll be it, and they'll be able to come on, we'll go have a nice meal and a few beers and a wee catch up. And that's it. So yeah, it's been a very, very, very short cruise day today, but it's been quite good actually, you know, meeting everybody down at Ranworth and what have you. I am now going to go and get myself sorted, get some things packed up and ready for returning tomorrow. That's going to be me for the night. I'm not going to be going anywhere now, you know. I'm in a perfect position to leave first thing tomorrow. It'll be about an hour, just maybe about an hour, back up to Wroxham, first thing in the morning, unload the boat, and that'll be the end of the adventure. So, like I say, it's been a very short day, it's just the way it's worked out. I will say this is the end of day 7 of the Great Norfolk Broads Adventure 10. But I will be back, I might be back later, but I will definitely be back tomorrow, because I always like doing that last wee sort of musical cruise back up the river, you know, just to, I don't do much talking, but I do like to do that wee musical cruise back up the river. So I will be back tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed it, even though it's been a wee bit short, and not a lot has been happening today. Like I say, it's just been that type of adventure this time, you know, just a wee short cruises here and there, you know. I personally had a brilliant time, you know, so yeah. If I don't come back, I hope you've enjoyed it. I will pop back tomorrow, join me tomorrow for day 8. In the meantime, I'm going to go away, have a pint, get stuff ready, and wait for the rest of the motley crew to arrive from Stalham. So until then, if I don't speak to you later, I'll speak to you tomorrow. So until then, bye for now. Cheers! Okay, I think it's now time for the Admiral's walkthrough of Royal Commander from Barnes Brinkcraft. Yes, I've got to say I've spent a week on this vessel, and she's actually quite a lovely wee boat, I must admit. She's what's known as a Pearl 38, which means that she's about 38 foot long. She's a centre cockpit, so the whole canopy is electrified, slides on down, and much like Royal Stuart, she has a wee hatch just at the side hatch where you can pop your head up, but I'll show you that later. She is also equipped with a bow thruster on the front, which is very, very handy, especially when you're coming into a tight mooring like this particular one in the bottom corner at Ranworth Staithe. She also has an electric winch up at the front. Once again, I'll show you that. But what we'll do is we'll take your... Excuse the engine, I'm just running the engine to charge up the batteries at the moment. Quite a nice wee sort of wide freeboard as well, as you can see. With my foot there, plenty of room, and she also has these sort of grab handles all the way up and on the roof as well. You know, there's the wee hatch there, very easy to slide along. Unlike Royal Stuart though, this one does not have a separate lock and key to slide it and lock it from the outside. You can only open this from and close this from the outside. She has a nice wee windscreen wiper, and obviously once again a solar panel. It doesn't really do much, it's more just of a trickle charger just for the batteries. Nice wee grab handles up the front here, and as you can see there is a wooden pole. There would have been a flag there, very similar to what was on Royal Stuart. I wish there still was a flag there, but obviously it's probably got a wee bit tattered and they've not bothered replacing that. So it's a wee bit of a shame, you know, and obviously just down the front there is the electric winch. It is controlled from the helm seat, and obviously if there is a wee issue with the mechanism, if it does some jam or something like that, there's a wee hole here and there's a handle by the helm seat where you can manually reset and pull the mud weight up, so there's no problems there, you know. Once again, nice wee light for the forward window for the forward cabin, and just back down the other side there. Much the same as Royal Stuart, very, very similar in design to Royal Stuart. Whereas Royal Stuart was only a 35 foot, this one is obviously slightly larger with at 38 foot. Royal Stuart only had 2 bedrooms, this one has 3 cabins and 2 en-suites, and I must admit she's very, very comfortable indeed. Right, let's go and have a wee look inside it. Obviously you've got the telescopic TV aerial here, you know. It's obviously set down to its low side, I never really use it, but you can whack that up to a height and get a nice wee reception. 2 double doors to open, this one's obviously open at the moment, and you can just recatch and you can open that up and completely have the whole back end opened up. And you step down into the master cabin. Now, once again, excuse me, this boat is lived on. I am taking it back tomorrow, so it's a mess, there's no doubt about it. It's early on a Friday morning and I've not had a chance to properly clean it up, so this is basically, apologise for any mess, but I've been living on it for a week, you know. But yes, first thing you come to is the bed, and I must say, you know, it's a small double, and I must admit the length is well, if you were over 6 foot tall, that length is going to be a slight issue. I am 5'10", and literally my feet from there and my head can just about touch the headboard at the back there. So if you're quite a tall person and like to stretch out, it's going to be a wee bit difficult for you. It's a small double, but it is very comfortable. At least for one person sleeping in it. There's still plenty of room to move around. Obviously you've got a wee sort of a shelf there, and there is obviously just under the freeboard here, there's actually a wee shelf down there for you to be able to put your anything that you wish to have handy overnight. You can probably see keep a wee can of juice there just to wet my whistle in the middle of the night. Lovely big windows though, and lets in a lot of light. You know that obviously you can open them slightly, these two windows. Lets in a lot of light, a lot of ventilation, you know, especially with the huge double doors there and the big window, and very, very good. You get the wee light switches. This one controls an outside light and this one controls the interior lights, and you can also control them with the wee switches on each individual light up here, which obviously don't come on because I need to switch them actually on. See, like just like that, and that's not actually going off, so maybe that doesn't actually do any, so I'm talking rubbish obviously. But all the lights and the other ones do actually work on that switch. You've also got a nice wee reading light which is controlled up there. If I'm honest, that is a little bit too high. It's right the way up on the ceiling. As a reading light, that would have been handier just a little bit further down, because obviously when you settle down you've got quite a stretch to switch that off. But it's very, very nice and very, very usable, and I must admit I've actually enjoyed sleeping in this because it's been actually quite comfortable. Much like Royal Stuart, very, very comfortable bed indeed. Down here you've got a wee drawer, a heating vent and another drawer. Yeah. Behind you you have a full length mirror. There is this is a 240 volt bolt, so you do have a plug socket and a shaving point. I'm sure there is a reason a plug socket is up near the roof and not on the floor, where it might be a wee bit more useful, but that's where the plug socket is, you know, and obviously there's no shelves or anything like that, so yeah, anyway. You've got a nice wee cupboard here with your hanging, a few coat hangers. You've got your Ron Dankers down there, and obviously the obligatory dustpan and pail, you know. Here is the ensuite, the first of the en-suites, and yeah, very nice, usable. You've got a wee hook up there, wee sort of towel rail, your toilet with the pump. It is an electric flush over there, and there's your shower pump switch for when you're having a shower, you know. And obviously it's a reasonable sized basin, you know. You've also got a wee heating outlet there, so in the colder months it would actually be a wee bit sort of nice and warm in here. All the wee sink, you know, obviously I've no longer had a shower, so you know, it's actually a slightly different setup here, in that you've got a separate taps for your sink, and you've got your separate taps for your shower, which is just up there. A wee mirror, another wee light there, and over here that's where you attach the shower head when having a shower. It's alright, it's actually not too bad at all. It's like most boat showers, they are a wee bit sort of cramped and confined, but they're perfectly usable. There's never had any problems with that, and able to shower quite easily. The only thing I will say is that you see this curtain is closed. It's closed for a reason, and you open it up and okay, lovely light, you know, fantastic, big windows, once again a nice wee vent, but they're not frosted. The windows are not frosted, which means that if you sit down and have your morning toilet business, anybody and everybody can see into you. So it's like, yes, okay then, I'll just slide that on over. So yeah, I've actually been keeping that. It's a bit unusual having a toilet without a frosted window, but okay, that's just the way that it is. It lets in a lot of light, but yeah, you're gonna want, if you're next to people, you're gonna be wanting to pull that curtain shut so nobody can see you doing your personal hygiene business. So yeah, that's a wee bit of an odd thing, but yeah, that's not a problem. Just pull the curtain and there's no problems. Obviously behind the door here you've got another wee couple of hooks, and you got some more shelving just down there, you know, which is no problems whatsoever, you know. So plenty of storage, you know, and very comfortable and very usable, and yes, really enjoyed spending my time here. Then it's straight on through into the galley, and I've got to admit, it's actually quite a spacious galley, you know. You've got wee cupboards up here which has the obligatory glasses and stemmed wine glasses. I love Brincraft for their stemmed wine glasses, and another one up there where you can get your Brincraft mugs. Obviously a wee sort of lights, hanging utensils. Not too bad in the kitchen space. Obviously you've got all the way around here, the cooker, and then obviously some more kitchen space here down by the sinks, you know. So not too bad on the kitchen space at all, you know. You've got a drawer here which has all your utensils, although I don't know why, but I think the runner's a wee bit needing sorted because it keeps opening up a bit. You covered it in there with your cutting board and all your various bits and pieces, and of course in here, you know, all your plates and more shelves for storage, you know. She has a 4-burner hob with obviously the obligatory oven stroke grill in there, electric wee switch there, and something that you can do is shut that down and yeah, just sort of hides the rings away. Quite nice wee thing there, you know. And obviously once again quite large windows on either side of the galley, you know. Down here you've got another cupboard and more cupboard space there, and that's obviously where your bin is kept, you know. So all in all, you know, a wee sort of a light switch there, another wee hook, you know. You got these here, you could hang all the towels and if you were needing to dry them out or store them. So yeah, I mean, all in all I would say this is actually a very usable galley, you know, for what it is. And because it's gone from beam to beam, well, beam across rather than length across, it means that you actually get a lot more space than you would expect. You know, everything's to hand, you know, everything's easily grabbable, you know, and yes, very nice, you know. But once from the galley, we then up a couple of steps and into the saloon. We're passing by the fridge, which is the obligatory fridge. Actually seems has a nice wee freezer compartment though, with ice cubes. Something I've not seen on a boat for a long time, proper freezer compartment. And as you can see, all the various, you know, just a standard sort of fridge, you know, good size, nice freezer compartment. So yeah, lovely. Up to the left is the microwave, and obviously following that you have the obligatory TV stroke DVD player, you know. First thing you do notice when you walk in here is just how much light there is. You've got all the glass out the back, you know, huge lovely windows out the side, with good sized windows out the front, and once again large windows down the port side, especially when you've got that sliding hatch which is glassed on both the side and the roof. Loads of light just floods in, you know, absolutely fantastic. So yes, and you've also got these lights on the roof here. You've got 3 of them in total, and you've got one on the rear bulkhead, you know. Continuing on from the TV, you've got another wee shelf here for storage space, and you've obviously got a wee pull out, your obligatory pull out table there. Just going back to the TV, which I forgot, I won't do it because I've got stuff here, but if you lift that up, that actually does lift up, and you look inside, that is where there is a hoover stored. Maybe a wee bit awkward having the TV on top of that, but once again, how often are you actually going to use that? And you can just pop the TV up into the microwave, open, get your stuff out, put it back, pop the TV down. Very, very handy, very good. Over here, you have the switch for the inverter and the obligatory I'm sure you all know these heating systems by now. Hot, cold, and you can adjust the temperature as well, you know. Not really used that this week, unfortunately. I'd used it one day just to sort of take the chill off the air, and it seemed to work very, very good, you know. Obviously down there you've got a heating point, and here, which is attached to, I've just got this sitting here at the moment. That does, I'll show you in a second, but that is basically your electric operated canopy switches. It's a key, you know, and they fit in both, you know, it's the same key, and basically you want the canopy down, put it in, turn it, and canopy goes down, and you want it up, same thing. It's alright, it's alright. The only thing that is the canopy is noisy. It's a loud canopy when the motor's in action, but perfectly usable. And what you do is you take these pins, and the reason it's kept on a string like that is to basically so you don't lose it. It's attached to these pins, and what you do is you take the pins, and up here on the canopy you pull the wee string, put the pin from here into the hole, and that locks the window in place. You do that on both sides, you know, and you just lay the string along here, and that keeps this secure, so nobody can sort of lift it up and sneak in, and it also means that you don't lose the key at all, and you can get the key when you need it. Also means is that you cannot lower the canopy without forgetting to remove the pins. So you've got to remove the pins in order to get the key, in order to take the key and use the key on the motor in order to put the roof down. So it looks a bit rubbish, you know, I must admit, and a bit messy, but it's there for a reason, and it's a simple solution that works. So, and quite frankly, you know, you just sort of keep it out of the way, you know, it's not a problem, you know. I keep it in there just for handiness, you know, but obviously you can put the canopy down and put it away, and not a problem. And then you go into the helm position, you know, and I must admit, this is quite a comfortable seat actually. Yeah, I was not done a massive amount of cruising on it this week, but I've gone away down south into the Southern Broads, and I found yeah, that was quite comfortable actually. Never had any sort of lower backache or thigh ache or anything like that. I did discover as well, I discovered this myself, is that when you first sit on it, it seems to be a wee bit narrow, you know, but what you can do is that it won't pull out because I've got my wee mount there, but you can actually pull that out quite a wee bit, you know, which deepens the seat, you know, and makes it a lot more comfortable. So yes, that's actually a lovely wee, it's a simple yet ingenious redesign, you know, so that you can actually have a nice sort of stepping area here, you know, with lots of room to stand up when you need to, but when you're on a long cruise you can sit down, pull that out, and you've got a nice comfortable seat, you know, with plenty of rest for the backs of your legs, and be able to sit down on a nice deep seat. So that's very, very nice. Got a nice wee shelf there, I just use that for storing all my wee bits and pieces. Yes, obviously the hatch there where you can pop your head up through the roof if you need be, if it's maybe nice but not nice enough to lower the roof. You've got a couple of cables here. You have to, this is the one thing you do have to remember and do, much like the pins at the back. This cable here is attached to the windscreen wiper. Now you don't really need to touch that, you know, unless you're folding the windscreen down. If you're folding the windscreen down, you need to just pop that out. This cable here is for the, that should be in there like that. That is for the lights on the canopy roof. These lights here. That's what they're for, you know, that switch there. So if the roof is closed and you want to illuminate the saloon with the roof lights, you need to make sure that that is pushed in, otherwise they won't work. This light here at the back here obviously works regardless, you know, so there's not an issue there. And it's, I'm quite sure many people have put the canopy down, forgotten about that, and it probably pulled it and busted it and what have you, because there is threads there that would indicate that it would usually be screwed down. Now it just pulls out, so if you do forget about it, that's just going to pull clean out, you know, in theory, you know. Yeah, so that's what that cable is. Obviously the helm is very basic, you know, just the usual sort of temperature gauges, the rev counter, the batteries, and your warning lights. Obviously over here you've got your throttle control, your domestic and your inverter batteries here, and obviously all your things like your bilge, your wiper, your water pump. That is for your electric winch, down and up, and of course horn, and down here is your bow thrusters. I'm quite sure by now you know all about how to use the bow thrusters, which are actually quite good bow thrusters. Down here is the CD radio cassette player. It is an older unit, so there is no auxiliary socket to plug into, you do need to remember that. If you are coming here, you can't plug in like the likes of your iPod or anything like that. You'll only have the CD and the DVD player there. You've got one speaker there, and just behind the curtain there, which I'm hiding at the moment, is another speaker. The steering wheel is much like Royal Stuart, and it is lovely. I really love this design, this sort of old-fashioned nautical steering wheel here, surrounded by this sort of metal ring, which means it's comfortable and easy to hold, regardless of what steering input you have going down. There is a wee sort of a masking tape here that lets you know when the rudder is dead straight, but once again that's very rarely you'll need to actually know that, because if you're going down the river you'll have a good idea of exactly what's your bow is doing. As you can see, loads and loads and loads of lovely light from huge windows, so yeah, really lovely place to stay. Stepping off, lovely seating, nice and comfortable to seat. You've obviously got some wee sort of shelves as well, and a wee shelf up here. And that's the saloon. Down here we go into the forward part of the boat, and the first thing, and probably one of my niggles about this boat, will occur in this door here, which is your second bathroom, you know, and much like the bathroom in the bow, you've got the rail, you've got the shower, separate shower taps for the sink and the shower. It's a wee bit more cramped, I won't lie, but I've not used this shower, but you can just tell a wee slight slope to the shower tray there. Another heating point, the same sort of obligatory toilet with the foot and the toilet flush and the shower pump all there. You've got a mirror, another hook, and of course another light, and much like the forward shower, you have windows which are not frosted. Very good if for letting in light, not so good if you're taking care of personal hygiene stuff in here. So once again, I was having that slid over. Why was I having that slid over? Well, I was having that slid over because I didn't want people looking into this window, because this is the one thing that niggles me about this boat. The cigarette lighter socket. It's not located on the helm. It's located in the forward toilet, the forward head. Now, I'm sure there was a perfectly logical reason for putting a cigarette lighter socket in a toilet, but I've no idea what the logical thinking behind that is. What did they think people are going to do in a toilet that requires a cigarette lighter. So yes, obviously, as you can see, I bring down a cigarette lighter with a USB hub, you know, and I've been literally charging all my stuff in the toilet at the end of the day. That makes no sense to me whatsoever, but it is what it is. It works fine, you know, you don't have to have the engine on or anything like that. You just plug it in and it works much like Royal Stewart, brilliant. And it's been fantastic, you know, I've been able to come in, moor up and just sort of, yeah, but it makes no sense to me whatsoever having that located in here, you know, in the toilet of all places. Still, it is what it is, so there you go, that's where the cigarette socket is. Coming out here, we will then cross the hall into the second bedroom, and I apologise for the mess of it, but this is literally where I've been leaving everything, putting everything so that the master cabin is free. It looks to be just basically a single. It's quite wide up here, it tapers quite a bit at the bottom. You could use it as a seat, I suppose. It seems perfectly usable. It feels quite soft, but it's very short, and much like the master bed at the back, it's a small single, you know, so I would probably only have a child in here, if I'm honest. I think an adult might be a wee bit too cramped, because of the shape of the bed, especially how much it narrows at the bottom here. But you do have the windows, you do have a wee coat hook there and a coat hook there. You've got a wee cupboard here, you know, with a hanging space. It's not a bad cupboard actually, quite a good size, you know, you can hang your whatever you wanted in there. You've also got shelving down there, a wee shelf up there, the obligatory light, wee heating vents as well down the bottom, and also down here is probably a wee sort of storage area there as well. So yeah, I mean, I've been using this, I've just literally been dumping everything in here, and it's, you know, for a utility room almost, perfectly fine. Not sure I would want to spend a week in this bedroom sleeping in it, being an adult, but for a kid, I think perfectly fine, perfectly usable, you know. You've also got a wee, once again, a wee shelf just up there, put whatever, you know. And that is the second bedroom. Then we go into the bow of the boat, and I must admit, I quite like this bow. I almost moved into this, into this cabin rather than using the rear cabin, you know. First thing that strikes you is that oddly there is a sink, you know. Looks a wee bit odd actually, a wee bit out of place, but I kind of get it, you know. If you're getting up in the morning, you know, get yourself a wee bit ready, you know, get a wee bit sort of a shave and a wash and all that, and yeah, you know, definitely a throwback to older design boats, that when a lot of the older design boats had that sort of setup. But yes, you could in theory put another single in there, but yeah, I mean, that makes to me it makes perfect sense, you know. And if you just kind of have to get used to it a wee bit, because it does intrude a wee bit into the bow cabin, you know. But the good thing is that it does give you plenty of counter space here, up at the top. You've got the windows again, some more storage there. You've got a light. You've got 240 volt in a better place than in the master cabin, you know, because it's quite near a shelf, you know. Either way, got a wee sort of a cupboard here, no hanging space in that one. A wee heating outlet there. Loads of coat hooks on this boat. Another wee mirror, another wee reading light, and once again more tons and tons of glass that lets in lots and lots of light. You got a wee shelf here, but that looks like a proper large double bed. You know, now I'm not sure, but I think that this bed is probably larger than the master cabin. It does taper a wee bit around the shape of the odd shape of the bow, but it actually looks like a properly large double bed. I saw this cabin and I was just like, oh yeah, I could take this cabin. I could so easily spend a week in this cabin. There's not a lot of headroom up here though. I mean, like I say, I'm 5'10". I'll just show you. And yeah, I mean, standing straight up, I'm probably actually touching. In fact, I am touching the roof. So yeah, there's not a lot of headroom, so you do have to crouch a wee bit. But once again, that's just the shape of the bow. There is also a wee sort of escape hatch, so if it does get a wee bit warm, you can undo that, pop the hatch, you know, and let a wee bit of ventilation in. And down here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see, there is another couple of drawers, and round the corner under the sink you've got a really deep shelf, you know. So yeah, actually a lot of space for this, you know. It's almost like a VIP cabin rather than a master. Very, very good. I really did like that, you know. But yeah, and that is it. That is the Admiral's walkthrough. The engine, by the way, is actually located under there, you know, but once again, don't need to worry too much about that, you know. And yeah, that is the Admiral's walkthrough from Barnes Brinkhoff of Royal Commander. Lovely boat, cracking wee comfortable boat, and probably, I mean, mid-range price I think it is, you know. It's actually a lot of boat for not a lot of money. So thoroughly enjoying my week on board, you know, and I would actually probably recommend Royal Commander, you know. If you've got two couples, definitely. Small family, even better, you know. But lots and lots of space, and yeah, very, very good. So that is the end of the Admiral's walkthrough. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just a quick wee look before I take the boat back to the boat yard. So that is the walkthrough of Royal Commander. So until later, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now. Cheers!